All right. Now, okay, as we stated, ratio is a relationship between two quantities with the same unit of measurement. Now, don't get where you're just thinking unit of measurement like feet, yards, stuff like that. That's not what I'm talking about. That is one thing, okay? But when I'm talking about units of measurement, I'm talking about, okay, for example, the ratio of boys to girls. Okay, that's the same unit of measurement in that we're all humans. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. What a ratio is not, okay, and we'll talk about these on another day, but a ratio is not like if I'm comparing miles and gallons of gas. Miles in a car versus gallons of gas. Miles and gallons are not the same unit of measurement. So therefore, okay, we can't compare those two in the sense of a ratio. Ratio is going to compare two things that have similar ways to measure them. Okay, yes, you will see feet and inches. Yes, you will see kilometers and meters. Okay, yes, you'll see minutes and hours. Okay, because those are all units of measurement that can be quantified into the same category.
Some of the problems we're going to have to change the unit of measurement to one of them.
Yes. There will be times when you'll have to change, for example, if you're comparing 10 inches to 4 feet, okay, you will have to change the 4 feet to 48 inches so you can reduce it and do the correct thing, correct measurement there. So yes, there will be times when we'll have to do that. Now, ratios are expressed in three forms. Okay, so if I have a ratio, the first form is 4 to 5. That's the first way you can express it. 4 with the word 2, 5. Okay, the next way is 4 colon 5. And the last way is 4 over 5. For our purposes, okay, for our purposes, I want you to always express it as a fraction unless they tell you differently in the directions. Okay? I want you to express it as a fraction. Okay, for our class, I want all ratios expressed as an improper fraction or proper fraction in lowest terms, unless the directions state otherwise. Okay, the reason I say that is because in some of these problems, they're going to state and tell you to write the ratio in its three forms or two other forms. So when it's telling you to write it as something else, then you have to do it that way. But if they just give you a ratio and they tell you to put it in simplest form or express the ratio in simplest form, we want it as a fraction. Okay? You will notice the key words here, improper and proper. You will not notice that the word whole numbers or mixed numbers is used. You never express a ratio as a whole number. Okay? If the ratio of boys to girls in here was there's 4 boys for every 1 girl, then the ratio would be 4 to 1 or 4 over 1, not 4. Okay? So it has to be expressed as an improper fraction or as a proper fraction in simplest form. So, if we were to look at the ratio of boys to girls in this classroom right now, today, not necessarily on another day, but today. So, how many girls we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 girls, right? You're pointing at yourself there, Zach? Yeah, point at yourself. Okay, so we have 5 girls. Okay, and we have, well, how many guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so there's 10 boys. So we have boys to girls would be expressed as a fraction, 10 over 5, and then we reduce that to 2 over 1. Okay, and that is your ratio of boys to girls. Now, if they wanted the ratio of girls to boys, it's not the same. Okay, whatever label is listed first, that's the number that goes on top of your fraction or is listed first in your ratio. So then that would be 5 to 10, which would be 5 over 10, which would be 1 to 2. Okay, you do not have to have a label with it. Okay, you don't have to put 1 girl to 2 boys. Okay, you don't have to do that. Okay, so if they told you to express the ratio of girls to boys in 3 different ways, then you would have first way, second way. Actually, you would need to third way. Okay? In other words, whether you're listing it with the word to or with the colon or with the fraction, you always need to reduce it to its lowest terms. Okay?
If it isn't reduced, is it wrong?
If it's not reduced, it will be wrong, yes. Okay? Now, some of them won't reduce. That particular one I did does reduce. Okay? Now, let's look at one that Nick asked about just a second ago. Okay? Let's look at this. 3 quarts and 2 gallons. Okay? They want to express those two numbers as a ratio. Okay? When you're in a ratio and you can put something in common units of measurement, then we do that. Okay? You always want to go to the smallest unit of measurement. Okay? So in this particular example, the smallest unit of measurement is quarts. All right? So if we express it as a ratio, you have 3 quarts over 2 gallons. Okay, now we need to know 3 quarts over question mark quarts, because we need to know how many quarts are in 2 gallons. To know that, obviously, you have to know how many quarts are in a gallon. How many quarts in a gallon, Drew? 4 quarts in a gallon. If you've forgotten that, then in the back of your book, in the back cover of your book, there's a lot of those conversions are back there. Okay, those of you who have a newer book, I think it's like the second to last page. Let's see here. That's right there. Yeah, it's on the back cover. It's on the actual back cover on most of the books. Okay, and it has quarts, ounces, cups, all that stuff. Okay. Now, so if there's 4 quarts in 1 gallon, then there's how many quarts in 2 gallons? 8. So therefore, we have 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. So 2 gallons equals 8 quarts. So then our 3 over 8 is our ratio. Yeah. You just leave it in that form because there's nothing else you can do. Okay, throw a metric one in here because we've been a while since we've talked about metrics, but 600 meters, 5 kilometers. Okay, you have 600 meters and 5 kilometers. Which is smaller, meters or kilometers? Meters. Okay, let's remember our little boxes. We had meters here, then we had a box, and a box. This is kilometers. So to go from kilometers to meters, it's 1, 2, 3 places. So that means we take the 5 and we go once, twice, 3 times. So that's 600 meters and 5,000 meters. Now you take and put that as a ratio, it'd be 600 over 5,000. The zeros cancel each other out, leaving me with 6 over 50. Now divide that by 2 over 2. 2 goes into 6 3 times, 2 goes into 50 25 times. So 3 over 25 is the ratio for 600 miles or 600 meters and 5 kilometers. Okay. Now, everybody turn to page 371. Turn to page 371. I want you to do problems 8, 9, and 10 right quick. Do problems 8, 9, and 10 on page 371.